Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. Back on the Monte Carlo here for a couple hours. First thing I'm going to start with is we got this body bolt back here, body mount. I'm going to hit with the sandblaster, clean it up, spray it with some lube, and see if we can get it out. So I do have to weld up. I made a new plate down here for this body mount to sit in. I made one of these. This was all rotted out, so I just made it. It's a washer, a pipe, and part of a lug wrench to make that. So I did not film that. I did that off camera. But we're going to get this all sandblasted and cleaned out, see if we can get this bolt out of here. So thanks for joining us today. Getting a late start on this. We had a bunch of running around and stuff to do today, so alright, now I made a mess with that stuff. See if spray a little lube on there, see if we can get it off. You know, the threads didn't clean up great. Kind of can't really get to it very well, but I cleaned them up some. I'll just have to go slow with it. Got all dusty over here. So this here is for the body mount that's under the rear seat. And this was the piece that was rotted away back here. So it was there, so I could tell what it needed to be, and it was the same as this. So this is what I made. You can see that they're pretty close for just scrap stuff I had laying around here. So it works for what I needed to do. You know, I could have went out and bought a whole kit, a whole body kit for this and redid everything. But if I was to redo everything, everything that I did on the passenger side, everywhere that there would be a body mount, I would have to cut back out to get to the top of that body mount so that I can clean it up, try and get the bolt out. Chances are the bolt's not going to come out, it's going to break. And you know, I would have to cut that floor open to create surgery to get to those body mounts. And I'm not just going to replace one side. The car would sit funny. So I'm just kind of freshening up the body mounts that are here, making sure that they're good and they're held down and bolted tight, and moving on from it. I'm over it. I'm not gonna kill myself trying to replace every body mount on here. So, and I'm not gonna replace just half of them. So let's get this body mount out, hopefully. Okay, so this is the body mount that we're going to work on. Hopefully it comes out easily. Hopefully I don't break it. But I'm gonna go slow. I'm just gonna little loosen, little tighten, little loosen, little tighten till we get it out. Unless I feel that it's just totally coming out. I think we're spinning up top. Yeah, we're spinning up top. Okay, so I sandblasted it up. Now I'm gonna weld it to the frame of the car here. Not the frame, but the frame floor structure, so that it can't move, because there's this top diamond shape. I'm sure you.
And tonight on CBS News, 7 Saudi soldiers sodomized several of Saddam's southern settlement squatters.
You've seen it in some of the other videos that I have, because they're all like that. It's supposed to have this cage around it that holds it from spinning, and that cage rotted away. So it's just spinning in there. So I'm gonna weld it so it can't move. Okay, so we got that welded up. I'm gonna try and hit it real fast while it's still nice and hot. That should help it come out with it being nice and hot. Yeah, baby. Okay. We got it out. I don't want to touch it, it's probably hot. I will throw that in the blast cabinet. I'll probably throw this bottom ring in the blast cabinet. We'll get it cleaned up before we put it back in. Fixed my ground, so hopefully it seemed to be working good. I was having a lot of issues with my welder, and I think one of the big issues is there's this braided strap. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. There's this braided strap that goes inside the ground clamp, so that both sides of the ground clamp are grounded, because ground cable that comes from the welder only goes to one side. So inside here they have this ground strap that comes around to this side, so that both sides are grounded. That ground strap was not connected to either side. So I was having a hard time welding. Sometimes my welder was working really good, sometimes it was working really bad, and I couldn't figure it out. And the other day I was working on the 49, and I think it was the 49, maybe it was this one. But I went to weld. It was a 49, and it grounded through me. And when I went to go weld, man, it gave me a jolt. So yeah. So the other day I kind of took that ground apart, and I cleaned everything up, and I put it back together, and you know, we're good to go now. So I'm gonna grab the vacuum this up real quick. Did make a little bit of a mess here. since I got the welder out, I'm gonna finish welding in that body mount. Okay, got that welded in. I don't know if you guys could see it, but that's what I welded in. That hole, this is where the body mount sits in there. I'm not gonna set it in there because it's hot as heck right now. But that hole was all rotted out and the body mount just fell right through. So I just took a little good thick piece of steel, scrap steel that I had laying around. I used a reamer. I wallowed out the hole so that this fit in there. I had it tacked in the other day. Well, it was last weekend, and I was running out of gas, so I just got it tacked in so that I could kind of get an idea of where I was going and what I was doing with it. So got that welded in. I should probably clean this up real quick and put a quick coat of some rust proofing on this. I've got the frame back here. Let's get the ground off here, take my welding helmet off. I'm gonna cut the tacks, pop that thing off so I can get the other side as well. So I just got this piece in here with a couple of tacks, and that was not what I wanted. I'll keep it here. Needle scaler, clean up the frame.
It's not my fault, come on. I suppose it's society's fault.
Okay, so I just used a needler scaler on the top and on the side. And I was going to brush some rust proofing on it, but I've kind of changed my mind while I was getting it cleaned up. When I get underneath to do this car, the whole floor of the car is getting rust proofed. And then or not rust proofed, undercoated. You know, I may brush some rust proofing where it needs it, and then we'll undercoat the whole bottom of the car. But I'm gonna tape off the frame and everything. I'm not undercoating that stuff. That stuff is gonna get done with POR 15. It kind of dries with the shine. So I want that contrast between the frame and the floor. I want you to be able to tell that, you know, that I was under there and I did work to it. I want it to look nice. I want it to look clean. But I don't want to just get underneath there and just undercoat everything. I want the rear end POR 15 and the control arms POR 15 and the frame POR 15, and it's getting new springs and new shocks and it's getting all new brake stuff. So when you look underneath this car, I mean, it's going to look like a new car under there. If I was to just get underneath there and just undercoat everything, it's going to look like somebody got under there and undercoated everything. And that is not what I want. So the rust proofing, the only rust proofing I have here at the moment is that that Doopy color stuff, which I have no problem using, but it dries flat and it's rubberized. And that's not the look that I'm going for on the frame. Even though this top section of the frame, you're never going to see it. The side section that I'm going to hit right now, it gets covered up by all these pieces that I'm going to get ready to weld in here. But if you're underneath the car and you look up inside there, you can see the side of the frame. But it's going to be really hard for me to get up in there once everything's all welded back together. So right now, I'm just gonna spray it with some 2-in-1. I would much rather PUR 15 it, but I don't have any here at the moment. I am gonna order some. I need some for the 49. I need some for this. I am gonna order it. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm gonna 2-in-1 it, some black gloss, and then when I PUR 15 it, it'll look good. It'll match. And I won't have a flat rubberized look on the side and a PUR 15 on the bottom. So I'm just gonna hit it with some rattle can. It'll dry faster. I'll be able to keep working over here. I won't have to stop and wait overnight for that stuff to dry. See a little bit more here I want to hit. Oh, I got it stuck. Yeah, I'm gonna get underneath here with the needle scaler and hit the whole frame, and you know, I'm gonna pull the rear end out and all the control arms and everything's coming off, and I'll either sandblast it or hit it with the needle scaler, and it's all gonna get painted and cleaned up. And once again, I forgot to take pictures. Glad I video it. But, like, you know, it looks a lot better than being all rusty. It did look like that. You know, now it looks like that. And that's how the whole frame will look after I'm done PUR 15 in it. You know, it's not flat or smooth or anything like that, but I knocked all the rust off of it. I knocked all the rust off. There's no scaly rust or anything like that. These needle scalers are great for that. It takes off all the scaly rust. It takes off undercoating, grease. I love those needle scalers. I actually have a few of them in my toolbox because they like to bite the dust, but so I always have backups of them. But now, now it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. But now at least it's protected somewhat, it's cleaned up, it's protected. I'm good with putting these other pieces back in. So I would like to try and get that piece that was tacked in that I just cut off. I would like to get that piece in and have it connected with this piece on the motor mount, on the body mount. I always say motor mount. When you hear me say motor mount, I mean body mount. So I'd like to have everything on the body mounts tonight, welded in, bolted down. So, you know, it won't be done back here, but at least I'm on the homeward stretch back here. So okay, it's loose back here. So that's good. That's what I wanted. I'm gonna get my jack over here and a board under here to push up on the back of this car. And the reason that I'm gonna do that, I want to kind of jack up the car until these two pieces of metal kind of fit together, and then I'll get it welded in, and then we'll lower the car and it'll kind of force everything in place. Walking in circles over here. Still kind of, you know, getting the shop in order and cleaning stuff up and moving stuff around. You know, we haven't even been in here 2 years yet. And when I moved into this shop, like I mean there was nothing. It was studs with really horrible electrical. There was no heat. They just had hooks and cabinets and shelves and just random areas all over the place. I mean, this place, it was horrible. It took me months just to get it basically to where I could pull a car in here and work on it. I redid all the electrical on that side and ran new electrical to over here that's connected to everything, because this side had a breaker box. That side had 2 breaker boxes. They were the old school glass screw in. It wouldn't even hold my welder, let alone a compressor. I had to run 220. Everything's on a breaker now. All new outlets, all new electrical, insulation. It was a lot of work. It took me months just to get all that stuff done before I could even run a welder in here. So and as soon as I was able to run a compressor and a welder, I was building cars in here. But I've still been like kind of building the shop around me working on cars. So I still got lots to do, but slowly it's getting done. Little by little. And I say that because I was walking in circles looking for my jack. My jack was on the other side of the shop. Now it's on this side of the shop. It actually kind of has a home. Just at least something instead of just raw metal. It's not that I'm trying to rush this by any means, but it just seems like I've been working in the same area for over a month now, and I have been, and I just wanna keep moving forward. Okay, I'm gonna start welding this piece in. Okay. I'll walk around that way. I got too many cords and cables. So, got a new bolt and washer. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can hammer that down. It's sticking up entirely way too high, and because most of it's shanked, I think I actually ran. Okay, so I got this. It's bolted down now. I got this motor mount or body mount back in. This body mount over here. So this triangle thing that I welded in. As soon as I went to bolt it in, it stripped. It was old. It was rusty. The bolt that came out of it was rusted off. I had to put it on the vise and heat it up and take it out with the vice grip, and the threads were screwed up when I took it out, and I ran a tap through it and cleaned them all up, and I thought everything was good. But as soon as I went to bolt it down, that thing that I made that looked like this, I made it to match this one exactly. It bottomed out on that and then stripped out that triangle. So I took this back out. My camera died. So I took this back out and I cut, I don't know, quarter inch off of it. Yeah, so I cut about a 1/4 inch off of it. I ran the tap through that triangle again and kind of cleaned up the threads. And I got it bolted together. I went and bought bolts for this today, some longer bolts, and they just seemed too long. Not only were they too long, but the shank on them was too long too. I should have got a shorter shank and more thread. But the thread was sticking way up above the floor, so I would have had to cut it down. So I was able to use a shorter bolt that I did have here. Since I cut this shank down, that shorter bolt worked. And then I put a nut on the top. Once I got it all bolted in, I put a nut on the top and I welded the nut to that triangle. Something with just some decent threads on it. I would hate to be driving down the road and the bolt falls out because it's stripped. So I welded the bolt on the top. Not exactly what I wanted to do. I spent a lot of time working on this piece. I really didn't want to have to do that, but better safe than sorry. I made sure that the bolt still came in and out after I welded that nut on there. So it's got the threads that are kind of stripped. Well, they're stripped from the triangle, but I cleaned them back up with the tap. So I was able to bolt it up, and then I put the nut on the top just so I could get it to tighten. Without stripping all the threads out. So I'm able to push this down a little bit so I can connect up with that. This we started welding up. I'm gonna finish welding that up solid right now. So I'm gonna weld this up. We got the body mounts done, and then I'm gonna look at putting that other piece in. I held it up there. It seems like it's entirely way too short, but it's impossible that it can be too short because I didn't mess with anything like that. I didn't shorten it up. So I'm getting it back together. You know, that triangle thing, I got that welded in too, that triangle thing. You know, that's stripping out it's kind of aggravating. It's a bummer that it did that. All that work and it stripped it out. But it is what it is.
Catchphrase.
Okay, so hopefully you guys can see me okay. It's really hard to kind of hard to judge where that camera's pointing. You know, the screen on it is like this big. You know, my BlackBerry from 1998 had a bigger screen than this thing does, and being on the back, I have to, the stand for this thing is like this big, and then the screen's like this big, so the camera's down on the ground, only a couple inches up off the ground, and I gotta bend over and look at this tiny screen and try and judge to see if we're in the right spot or not. So unfortunately, it is what it is. I got to deal with it. You know, I guess they have a new camera out that has a forward-facing screen on it, but it's like twice as much money. Weird with this. Like this edge that welds to the wheel well, and the edge that is on this piece that welds to the wheel well, it's like a ½ inch difference. And like I said, I didn't shorten anything up. Man, it's probably more like an inch short. It's crazy. I don't know what to do about it. It does not seem right at all. I mean, never at any time did this piece or this piece get cut in half to where I would have added metal in between and made it different. I mean, this edge of the metal and this edge of the metal, and all the way through here is the piece from the car. The only thing, I added a little piece here, and I repaired this up here. And the same thing with this piece in here. Like, from where I cut to where it mounts to the wheel well is all the factory piece. I never once cut it in half. So why did this get so short all of a sudden? You know, this thing was just so rotted out. I mean, it's hard to tell. I was guessing with stuff. I'm gonna say that this wheel well's not right in here. So I'm gonna make a little slice in this wheel well where this piece hits, so that this piece here can come back farther to connect with that piece. It's got to be what it is. So only thing that, like, it was totally gone. I wonder if I can see on the other side. Hard to tell. There is a little on that side, but that side has the spare tire thing on it. It's completely different from this side, so hard to tell. That is just okay. Oh, cramp. Oh, that's a bad one.
My foot. Oh, foot cramp. Oh, that's a doozy. Ooh.
Okay, all right.
Oh, God, my big
right.
toe's so far away from my other toes. Oh,
Flex it out. Flex it out. Flex, okay.
Oh, that's a bad one. Oh, right between my shoulder blades. Oh. No, I just pulled something in my back. Between my shoulder blades. The one where it's hard to breathe.
Oh, no, it's back. It's back worse. Oh, it's where all the little guys in on it.
Oh, son of a gun. That is a massage tonight.
Still going.
Ground would help. I think I should have straightened that out before I welded that in. Ow. Ow.
Ouch.
Hot metal. Make it fit. So here's where we're at. I had to put a cut in a cut here, but then I was able to get this screwed to that inner piece. I had to make 2 small cuts in the wheel well for everything to fit in place. Everything's weldable. I'll be able to weld these cuts up, these cuts up. I can weld up the cuts in here. Like I said, I'm probably gonna have to put a couple more cuts in the wheel well. But that's it. It's back in one piece. I'll drill a couple of spot welds in here. We'll get those welded up. Then I can take these screws out. We'll weld up those holes. Same thing with the holes in here. I got everything to line up. I just had to make some cuts. A couple of those patches that I put on the inside of the wheel well were stopping this from being where it needed to be. So a couple of cuts, I was able to pull everything together. So I think we're good. I'm gonna call it a night. I pulled something in my back between my shoulders. I'm having a hard time breathing, so I need to go in. I got this massage thing that wraps around me and massages me, so I'm gonna go see if I can get that worked out. But appreciate you guys joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little bit more of a challenging task to get all this back together, but we're almost there. I'm almost ready to put a new floor skin back in, so that's a good thing. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night. Remember, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. It helps us out greatly. Thank you.